I want to talk about Fox News, which has now become white supremacy television. It's white supremacist television, Fox News. And we can thank Donald Trump for that. And I want to play a clip, though, first of LeBron James last night with Don Lemon on CNN, talking about race in America and Trump being divisive, because it helps give context to the clips from Fox News I want to play. So here's first LeBron last night on Donald Trump dividing us as a nation. Here's clip number 3.
You know, we are in a position right now in America, more importantly, where this race thing is taking over, you know, and because I believe our president is kind of trying to divide us. But I think
kind of,
yeah, is not, I don't want to say kind of. He's dividing us, and what I noticed over the last few months that he's kind of used sport to kind of divide us.
So there's LeBron James talking about Donald Trump trying to divide us. There's no disputing that. There's a divide in this country. Donald Trump doesn't want to be our president. The idea that if we on the left say he's not our president, it sounds snarky, but the reality is Donald Trump would tell you he doesn't want to be our president. That's the reality. He just wants to be the president of his base. We have never seen a president like this before who has not made any effort to reach out beyond his base and just double and triple down on his base. And then here's LeBron and Don Lemon asked him, do you think it's more challenging to be an African-American today than it was a few years ago? It's an interesting answer. Let's hear clip number 4, I'm sorry.
That no matter how big you can become, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do in the community, no matter what you do in your profession, you know, being African-American in America is always tough. And they always going to let you know that you are the N-word, no matter who you are. And that was just a reset.
Even when you have LeBron status and LeBron money, that
it doesn't.
You think it's harder to be, when you see these incidents of just about people living, just being black, and what happened to you, your house, all that. Do you think it's harder now, or do you think it's always been there? We're just seeing it because of cell phones and...
No, I think it's always been there. But I think the president in charge now has given people, they don't care now. They throw it in your face now.
And that's a great point by LeBron. Obviously, racism has always been in America. It's been here from day one. It's part of the DNA of this nation because the original Constitution enshrined slavery. So hence, white supremacy and racism is intertwined with our DNA. But LeBron made a great point that, of course, racism has been here. But under Donald Trump, he has emboldened the racists. And there's no disputing that. I mean, we didn't see rallies like we did in Charlottesville last August before, because these guys would hide in the shadows. They certainly weren't young guys going out. It was generally caricatures, older guys and Confederate hats and overalls out there. It's different. There's a reason why David Duke has said you're a traitor to your race if you don't support Donald Trump. When the former head of the Klan is saying Donald Trump is the greatest thing since whiteness and that you're a traitor to your whiteness if you're not supporting him, it says something, doesn't it? And that's where I'm getting to Fox News. And here is last time LeBron, I got a few clips because something happened last night that I want to ultimately get to. Here is last time LeBron spoke about politics, how Laura Ingraham on Fox News dismissively rejected LeBron. How dare he talk about politics? Here is clip number 5.
Doc alert. NBA superstar LeBron James is talking politics again, and this time it's R-rated. Here's his barely intelligible, not to mention ungrammatical take on President Trump in a new ESPN podcast.
The number one job in America, the point of person, is someone who doesn't understand the people and really don't give a about the people.
But wait, there's more gripping insight. ESPN host Carrie Champion asked James and fellow NBA star Kevin Durant about what she described as Trump's racist comments.
I feel like our team as a country is not ran by a great coach.
It's not even a surprise when he says something. It's not even a surprise. It's like laughable. It's like,
it's laughable.
It's laughable and it's scary.
But it's also scary
right,
because
right.
I shouldn't be numb to your racist comments.
Right.
I shouldn't be numb to your behavior.
I'm numb to this commentary. Like, must they run their mouths like that? Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
Must they run their mouth off like that? And you heard Laura Ingraham there, and this is from a few months ago. the last time LeBron spoke about politics, so we might see something tonight, say unintelligible. And we've heard Donald Trump call Maxine Waters low IQ, very low IQ. And in Michael Eric Dyson's great new book, What Truth Sounds Like, this book came out like about a month ago. He goes through that, how white supremacists would dehumanize African Americans by painting them as low intelligent, and how they're not smart enough and they're not good enough, but especially going after their intelligence. And you hear it in Laura Ingraham, you hear it in Donald Trump. And must they run their mouth? Shut up and dribble. Of course, when Tim Tebow or Kurt Schilling, conservative sports figures, say things, they're beloved, they're cheered, but they're white. So of course they're cheered. That's the reality. And then let's add more to the white supremacy that we have now on Fox News. And I think, courtesy of Donald Trump, I think they are really letting their white supremacist flag fly. Here's from a few months ago, Tucker Carlson, not about black people, but about brown people, and telling white America it's okay to be a bigot and a racist against brown people. Why? Because white people, you're not constructed in a way to accept change of people of different color in your neighborhood. It's not your fault. I am not exaggerating. Here's Tucker Carlson saying that exact thing on Fox News. Clip 6.
A recent piece in National Geographic tells you a lot about demographics in America and about how bewilderingly fast they're changing without any real public debate on the subject. The magazine profiles the small coal mining town of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. In the year 2000, Hazleton's population was 2% Hispanic. Just 16 years later, Hazleton is majority Hispanic. That's a lot of change. People who grew up in Hazleton return to find out they can't communicate with the people who now live there. And that's bewildering for people. That's happening all over the country. No nation, no society has ever changed this much, this fast. Now, before you start calling anyone bigoted, consider and be honest, how would you feel if that happened in your neighborhood? It doesn't matter how nice the immigrants are. They probably are nice. Most immigrants are nice. That's not the point. The point is, this is more change than human beings are designed to digest. This pace of change makes societies volatile, really volatile, just as ours has become volatile.
You see, as a white person, you're not designed to deal with change. So it's okay if you're a bigot or a racist. It's okay to be upset that black people or brown people are moving your neighborhood. That is just a few months ago. This echoes so much of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump literally would not rent the black people who wanted to live in his buildings, because I wrote about his quotes at the press conference at the time where he literally said, I am not exaggerating, if I rent to these people, all my white tenants are going to flee to the suburbs. There'll be white flight. So no, you can't be, you're white people. You're not designed. You think you're the master of the universe. You're not. It's okay. Tucker Carlson is literally saying, so Laura Ingraham is telling you black people are stupid. Shut up and play your little sport. Dribble for us. Slam the basketball for us. Hit the home run for us. Tucker Carlson saying it's okay to be upset of demographic changes in America because it's not your fault. It's in your DNA. White people, not only are you lacking pigment, but you're lacking the ability to accept change. It's not your fault. And then last night on Fox News, here's Jesse Waters on the show that's on at 5 p.m., Outnumbered. Oh, no, it's actually called The Five, which is their IQ combined, and talking about and echoing and parroting Donald Trump's comments. Remember, Donald Trump said people from Africa, it's S-hole countries. Well, here's Jesse Waters updating that in a discussion about immigration with Juan Williams, and this is from yesterday. Let's hear clip number 7.
Maybe he'll get something out of it.
Maybe he'll get something out of it.
Yeah,
well, I think his strategy is, I'm going to go after immigrants. This weekend he was
illegal immigrants.
No. He wants to cut legal immigration. Don't forget that.
He wants chain over, lotto over. He wants merit-based.
Yeah, and he wants to cut legal. So I'm saying,
would
go after the
legal immigration by bringing in the best and the brightest.
Oh, please.
Because we don't bring in some guy's uncle from Zimbabwe.
Oh, yeah.
So don't bring in some guy's uncle from Zimbabwe. They're not even being subtle. They're not even doing dog whistle anymore. This is straight up racism, because you want to bring a black guy from Africa, someone's black guy's uncle from Africa, literally on Jesse Waters. And there's a little bit of outrage on Twitter about him being white supremacist, but this is where we are. Fox News is the white supremacist television. He is parroting Donald Trump. The idea of what we want are not black people from S-hole countries or Haiti. What we want are people from Norway. Why? simply because of their skin color, because they're European. And if I went through on this show before, the code word for white supremacists now is our European identity is being destroyed. What European identity? Was that 5 generations ago? You were British somewhere? Who gives a crap? This is America. We're a melting pot. And what I find personally offensive about Jesse Waters, and I find all bigotry personally offensive, frankly. But in this case, Jesse Waters is advocating something that would have meant I would not be here today. Because my dad came here. He was the first one in his family. And because he could bring my uncle over, he stayed in America, didn't feel that alone. And my father would not have made it in any merit-based system. My dad didn't even have a high school education. He came here as a Palestinian refugee working as a cook in the U.S. Embassy in Jordan and was sponsored there to come to this country by the U.S. Embassy people because he was a good cook and a nice guy, and he was in his 20s, and they gave him a shot to a better life in America. And he brought his brothers over, and his 2 brothers who came over went back to school and got college educations and graduate school degrees, and they became engineers. My dad remained a cook. He opened up a diner, but he remained working very hard right through his entire life. My dad's here because we didn't have a merit-based system, but a need-based system for people who were in need. And his brothers came here. And to me, that makes more sense. You're going to bring some random person who can make more money for a Fortune 500 company here, as opposed to bringing someone who's got a family structure here already. If you bring someone's cousin, they already have a social network of people, a family network as a safety net for them waiting here. That can make their transition to America that much easier. Isn't that a better way? That to me seems like common sense would say, yeah, you would bring someone who's got other family here. And on some level, it's almost an inherent vetting system because they're not going to be able to sponsor someone if they've been criminals or something. It's just not going to work out. So you've got some subtle vetting system going on. And they might not be the best and the brightest. But you know what? They're going to probably come here and work really hard. Like immigrants do. That's what immigrants do. And the fact that the Zimbabwe comment, that black people, Africans and African Americans are not contributing to our society is underlying so much of what's going on there. And you can hear it. LeBron James, shut up and dribble, unintelligible. The idea of Tucker Carlson saying white people are not designed to deal with brown people coming to their neighborhood. And Jesse Waters last night saying, I don't want an uncle from Zimbabwe. You know, African-American story is not Black history. It's American history. This nation was built by slaves who were not getting compensated. And African-Americans who were brought here as kidnapped hostages then were able to contribute to this country despite the fact dealing with the indignity of slavery and then Jim Crow and separate but horribly unequal and second-class citizenship in this nation and not be able to sit where they want or pray where they want or love who they want. And they were still able to excel over the Jesse Waters and Tucker Carlsons and Laura Ingrahams of this country. But the fight is not over. You see this, and I hope you see it. And that's my big point here. That LeBron James, his first point to me, and I'm not African-American, so I need African-Americans to tell me if this is true, that under Trump, the bigotry has become emboldened. I've seen it as a Muslim. I can tell you I've seen it. I've seen a spike in hate crimes, which is documented. But for African Americans, LeBron James says it's now more in your face. And is that true? And I'd love to hear from you on that. So let's take a break. 866-997-4748. 866-997-4748. And this is just another reason why we must vote and take our country back on November 6th, because the direction this nation is going under Trump is clearly emboldening these people to show us who they really are. As Maya Angelou said, you should take their word for it. We know when they show you who they are, believe it, because this is who they are. And we're finally seeing this white supremacist face in this country. And I think it's a small percentage, but I think it's an emboldened percentage. I cannot tell you what percentage of the GOP is white supremacist. I can tell you only 25% of Americans are Republicans now. The party has contracted to that number. So some number within that is clearly white supremacist. So let's take a break. I'd love to hear from you. 866-997-4748 right here on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Look, it's time the media start calling out Trump's false statements for what they are. Lies. Trump's a liar. And by the looks of it, he's lying every day and twice on Sundays.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.